Building your proficiency in prompt engineering is the first steps towards smarter AI interactions. In this video, you will see how to leverage generative AI to its fullest potential, starting with the simplest of prompts. You will also see how to apply best practices and learn how these prompts can be used in an application. By developing these skills, you can better interface with a generative AI tool and gain a better understanding of what large language models can and cannot do. First, it's important to understand what prompt engineering is, as it lies at the heart of AI interactions. Essentially, it is the art of crafting inquiries that guide AI to generate useful and accurate responses. Many techniques can be used to enhance your results, and perhaps unsurprisingly, AI tools are capable of not only running prompts, but also refining and creating them. Let's begin with an example of an online bookstore assistant. We'll use ChatGPT, but you can use any AI tool such as Bard or Llama. We'll walk through 6 common techniques for creating prompts, spanning from more open-ended to more prescriptive: zero-shot learning, task-oriented, few-shot learning, chain of thought, instructional, and chain prompting. A basic prompt might simply ask for a book recommendation with no further details. This technique is called zero-shot learning and requires minimal background information. The AI tool must infer user needs solely from the prompt. In our bookstore, this might mean suggesting a book based on a vague request, such as, "Please recommend an adventure book for someone who likes excitement and new experiences." Specificity is often important, so we can update our prompt to include more context and be as clear as possible about the desired outcome. For example, adding, "I'm looking for a book to read this weekend." Now the response is more direct and focused, recommending a book that the user could read in a single weekend. You can further enhance the output through strategies such as specifying a persona, for example, a librarian. You can also be more specific about the outcome you are expecting. "Please give me 5 options and recommend your top choice." Or, by pleading with the AI with a statement like, "This is very important." The AI tool now lists several titles with authors and descriptions. This leads us to the second technique: task-oriented prompting. This type of prompting focuses on the outcome or deliverable from the AI tool. By adding the direction to provide 5 options and recommend a top choice, you are specifying what you expect the AI tool to directly address and accomplish in this task. A third technique, called few-shot learning, introduces examples to the AI tool. For our bookstore assistant, we can provide examples of popular adventure books to dramatically refine its suggestions. Using this technique, we might ask, for example, "The Hobbit and Treasure Island are favorites of mine." Now, 5 adventure books are listed with short summaries. With few-shot learning, our bookstore assistant learns from examples to identify patterns, making its recommendations increasingly sophisticated. If the prompt is still not giving you what you want, you can ask it to break down the steps using the chain of thought technique, which encourages the AI tool to follow a logical sequence to solve complex requests. We do this with a simple phrase at the end: "Please break this down step by step." By asking our assistant to break down the process, the AI tool reveals its reasoning and focuses on each step one at a time, leading to more accurate and thoughtful results. You'll notice that by using the chain of thought technique, the steps and reasonings used to make the recommendations are clearly and transparently laid out. You can also further refine the process by adding additional steps if you choose. These 4 techniques, zero-shot, task-oriented, few-shot, and chain of thought, are often useful when you do not know the process for determining the answer. They can help you leverage the AI's ability to identify the best process for answering the question. These are often great techniques to start with to optimize the creativity of the AI tool. However, when you have an industry knowledge of a process that should be used, or simply want the AI to follow specific steps, you can use an instructional prompt, clearly stating the steps the AI tool should follow. A good template is instruction, context, input data, if present, desired output. Since this prompt technique is a little different, let's open a new chat. Here's an example of an instructional prompt. You are a librarian who needs to recommend books based on a user's preferences so they can purchase a book from our bookstore. You will follow these steps. Number 1. Identify the adventure preferences such as fantasy, historical adventures, modern day, or futuristic sci-fi. Number 2. Determine the tone. Lighthearted, dark and gritty, or inspirational and uplifting. Number 3. Determine the desired length and complexity. Number 4. Identify if they have any specific interests or preference for themes. Number 5. Recommend 3 books they may enjoy. You'll notice the AI tool follows the instructions, gathers the input, and then provides the output. Using an instructional prompt is a great way to ensure tasks are handled in a consistent manner. This becomes even more interesting when you ask the AI tool to wait for refinements and clarifications between each step. The results now appear with an explanation of how these preferences were taken into account. This builds in yet another technique called chain prompting. In fact, chain prompting does not require the steps to be identified at the beginning of the conversation. It simply makes one piece of output the input of the next prompt. This allows you to have a conversation with the AI tool, a benefit being that a conversation is remembered by the AI tool throughout the chat. Here's an example prompt we might use that leverages chain prompting. You are a librarian and need to recommend books to a user. Please follow these steps. Number 1. Ask the user which books they've enjoyed lately. Wait for the response. Number 2. Identify key preferences and elements of a book, dissecting the book they suggested and asking which elements of the book made it great. Wait for which elements they'd like to see in the recommendations. Number 3. Suggest whether they want a quick read or a longer novel based on their recent favorite, and verify if this is what they are looking for. Wait for a response. Number 4. Suggest 3 potential books for the user. You can ask additional questions based on these suggestions to dive deeper. Tell me more about this one. The user will now see a summary of the last book recommended. Then, a nice trick is you can ask it to summarize or combine the information uncovered in the set of chained prompts. A bulleted list now appears with a high-level summary of the chat. Chain prompting is especially useful when you upload a CSV or other document, as it allows you to use your own data. The AI tool seeks to understand the document based on its training. Simply using an AI tool in the user interface of choice may be sufficient for your needs, as it has been here. However, you may often need more information than you can provide in the user interface. In this case, a developer may need to develop an AI application using a different architectural model. One example of an architectural model is Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, which would allow our assistant to fetch external information from a database with accurate, real-time information on books, authors, reader reviews, new releases, and more. Doing so enriches its response with data beyond its initial training. This architectural model transforms our assistant into a well-informed guide, capable of offering rich insights about books and authors from a trusted source. In this case, the assistant leverages both an internal database and the generative model, in our case, ChatGPT. More resources are available about architectural models such as RAG, but the main point is that prompting techniques must support the architectural model in use. Understanding how to craft prompts is core to building an AI application. Overall, keep these tips in mind when crafting prompts. First, be clear about what you want to achieve. Also, try adapting your strategy over time and iterate, noticing what works. Further, you can leverage the AI tool to refine prompts and make them even better. With these techniques, zero-shot learning, task-oriented, few-shot learning, chain of thought, instructional, and chain prompting, you are well on your way to crafting inquiries using best practices to ensure your output is as useful as possible. Now it's your turn. Experiment with these techniques to unlock the full potential of your AI projects. The future of AI interactions begins with your next prompt.